Hey everyone, I'm Scary Sam. Thanks for stopping by. This is part one of three. I hope you stick around. And if you like this story, please click the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing. Now, let's get to the story. Chapter 1. Arrival in Ashcliffe. Eva's car rolled into Ashcliffe just as the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the small town's main street. The town, with its Victorian homes and aged storefronts, exuded a charm that was both welcoming and slightly off-putting, given the purpose of her visit. The Ashcliffe Sanatorium loomed on the outskirts, a sprawling complex of deteriorated brick and broken windows, stark against the orange-pink sky. It was this place, a site of countless unspoken horrors, now scheduled for demolition to make way for commercial development, that had drawn Eva, a freelance journalist with a penchant for the paranormal, to this forgotten corner of the world. As Eva stepped out of her car, the crisp autumn air carried whispers of the past, the kind of whispers that spoke of hidden stories and secrets kept in the dark. She made her way to the local diner, a supposed hub for town gossip and a good starting point for her investigation. Inside, the diner was buzzing with the dinner crowd, the air filled with the aroma of coffee and fried food. Eva spotted the mayor, a robust man with a friendly demeanor, sharing a meal with what looked like other town officials. At another table, a woman with graying hair and spectacles, identified by the waitress as the local historian, sipped her tea while poring over a large book. Eva introduced herself to the historian, Mrs. Whitmore, who was intrigued by her interest in the sanatorium. Over cups of lukewarm coffee, Mrs. Whitmore shared tales of the sanatorium's past, of the experimental treatments and the cries that echoed through its halls. She spoke of ghost sightings and strange occurrences, rumors that had become part of the town's lore. The mayor joined them, adding his perspective. "Most folks here want it gone," he said, gesturing vaguely in the direction of the sanatorium. "They say it's a blight, a reminder of darker times best forgotten. But there are those who think some stones are better left unturned." Eva listened, her notebook filling with names and anecdotes, her mind racing with possibilities. The town, with its layers of history and mystery, was the perfect backdrop for her story, but she could already sense the weight of what lay hidden in the shadow of the sanatorium. As night fell, Eva checked into a small bed and breakfast near the town center. Her room looked out over the street, the view stretching towards the sanatorium on the hill. Even from this distance, it seemed as though it watched the town, its dark windows like empty eyes waiting for someone to dare uncover what was left inside. That night, Eva dreamt of corridors that twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the bowels of the sanatorium, each step forward marked by the sound of her heartbeat and the soft, incessant whispers of Ashcliffe. Chapter 2. Uncovering the Past. The following morning, under a gray, overcast sky that seemed to press down on the world, Eva approached the Ashcliffe Sanatorium. The gate creaked mournfully as she pushed it open, the sound a stark reminder of the neglect the building had suffered. The facade of the sanatorium was marred by time. Ivy clung to its sides, crawling over faded signs that warned of danger. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay. Eva's flashlight beam cut through the gloom, illuminating peeling paint and debris-littered floors. The silence was almost tangible, broken only by her footsteps and the occasional drip of water echoing through the vast, empty halls. Eva's first stop was the administrative wing. The files, left behind in a hurried evacuation, were scattered across the floor of what used to be the main office. She knelt, sifting through the yellowed papers, finding admission records, treatment logs, and notes scrawled in the margins of official documents. The details were chilling. A litany of procedures that ranged from the unorthodox to the cruel, treatments that promised healing but delivered torment. In the office of the chief psychiatrist, she discovered a locked drawer. After a bit of coercion with a crowbar, it gave way, revealing personal diaries and professional notes that spoke of a growing obsession with what the doctor called boundary states, the edges of consciousness and sanity. His writings became increasingly erratic, detailing experiments designed to push patients into these states to harness their raw emotional energy. As Eva delved deeper into the documents, The weight of the sanatorium's dark history pressed closer, the shadows seeming to lean in around her. She felt a growing sense of unease, as if eyes were watching her from the darkness. Deciding to explore further, Eva ventured into the patient wards. The rooms were small, the walls scratched, hinting at the desperation of those who had been confined there. As she passed through, her flashlight flickered, and for a moment the corridor was lit by a different light, a dull, unsettling red. Eva stopped, heart pounding, as a vision seized her. She saw the hallway as it once was, alive with the echoes of the past. Patients wandered, some crying, others screaming, their forms blurred and distorted as if seen through water. Doctors moved among them, their faces obscured by shadows, administering their treatments without concern. The vision faded as quickly as it had appeared, leaving Eva breathless and disoriented. She leaned against the wall, closing her eyes briefly. When she opened them, the sanatorium was once again just an empty shell, but the air felt heavier, charged with the silent screams of those who had suffered there. Shaken, Eva knew she had only scratched the surface of Ashcliffe's secrets. She also knew she couldn't turn back now, not when the echoes of the past called to her so clearly, begging to be heard. As she left the ward, the dim light of her flashlight seemed inadequate against the creeping darkness that filled the halls of the sanatorium, not a darkness that seemed eager to reveal more of its tragic tales.